Think good thoughts, and good things will follow. Once in a quiet town tucked between rolling hills and golden fields, lived an old woman named Mabel. Her back was slightly bent with age, her silver hair tied neatly in a bun, and her face was a map of a long life full of lines, full of stories. But what people remembered most about her were her eyes. They sparkled with warmth. Mabel lived alone in a little cottage near a big oak tree at the edge of town. Her husband had passed away many years ago, and she never had children. Still, every morning, she sat in her wooden rocking chair under that oak tree, smiling at everyone who walked by. People in town adored her. Life in the town wasn't easy. Some worked long hours at the mill. Others struggled to sell goods at the farmer's market. There were dry seasons when crops failed, harsh winters that emptied pantries, and illnesses that visited uninvited. But through it all, Mabel's smile remained like a lantern in the fog. One chilly afternoon, a young woman named Emily came walking up the gravel path to Mabel's house. Her eyes were red from crying, her hands trembling as she clutched her coat. Mabel saw her and patted the empty chair beside her. "Come sit, child," she said, her voice like a soft melody. Emily sat down slowly. "I don't know what to do," she whispered. "My husband went to Chicago to look for work, but it's been weeks. No calls, no letters, nothing. I'm scared, Mabel. I have 2 kids and barely enough food to last the week. What if he's not coming back?" Mabel didn't rush to answer. She just looked at Emily, calm and kind. "What do you think will happen, sweetheart?" "I don't know," Emily said, her voice breaking. "Maybe he couldn't find work. Maybe he forgot about us. Maybe—" She couldn't finish the sentence. Mabel gently placed her hand over Emily's. "You know," she said, "when we fill our minds with fear, our hearts get heavy like carrying stones. But when we choose hope, our hearts feel lighter, and sometimes that light guides us through the darkest places." Emily looked at her, unconvinced. "But how do you hope when everything feels like it's falling apart?" Mabel smiled. "Let me tell you a story." She leaned back and began. Once there was a man who had lost everything: his job, his home, his family. One day, sitting by a river, he cried out loud, "Why me? I have nothing left." An old woman walking by stopped and asked, "Do you not see the river still flowing, the trees still growing, the sun still shining?" "But I can't eat sunshine," the man said. The woman replied, "No, but you can feel its warmth, and from warmth grows strength." The man listened. Slowly, he began to notice the world again, the water, the breeze, the kindness in strangers. He found small jobs, met kind people, and day by day, rebuilt his life. Not because the world changed, but because he changed the way he looked at it. Mabel turned to Emily. "You see, sweet girl, it's not magic that brings change. It's mindset. When we fill our minds with hope instead of fear, we create space for courage. And courage is where change begins." Emily was quiet for a moment. Then she nodded slowly. "I'll try, Mabel. I'll try to think good thoughts even when it's hard." "That's all it takes," Mabel said, giving her hand a little squeeze. "One hopeful thought, one honest effort, every day." And from that day forward, Emily tried. Each morning, she stood in front of the mirror and whispered, "Today will be a good day." Some days were tough, but she kept going. She found a part-time job cleaning houses. Neighbors brought by extra food. Her kids laughed more, and weeks later, a letter arrived in the mail from her husband. He had found work, saved money, and was sending it home. He was okay. Tears streamed down Emily's face as she ran back to Mabel's cottage, holding the letter close to her heart. Mabel smiled as she listened. "You see, my dear? When you lead with hope, good things find their way to you. Life won't always be fair, but if your heart stays open, it will always be strong." Word spread through the town. More and more people came to sit under the oak tree with Mabel. She never gave them money or promises, just stories, just kindness, just hope. Hope passed from heart to heart, changed everything. Morale. Our thoughts have power more than we know. When we feed them fear, they grow wild with worry. But when we feed them hope, they become wings. Even when life feels uncertain, a hopeful heart gives us strength. And strength is where healing begins. Remember, a hopeful heart is a powerful heart.